Hey guys, it's Keith. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at two hiking shoes, light trail hiking shoes. We've got the very popular Jungle Moc by Merrell and the Skechers Mountaintop Rig, as it says on the box. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I try to tell it like it is. I try to just discuss attributes instead of it being a commercial for one brand or another. And a few years ago, I did a video on Skechers and Nike. Is Skechers the most comfortable shoe in the world? So you might want to check that video out. I like both of these brands, and I own both of these brands. Occasionally you might see an affiliate link. This is still a personal thing I do. I'm not being paid by any manufacturers to make these videos, so I just like to call it like it is, so you can make a good choice. So both these shoes are very similar. And Merrell has the long-standing reputation as just a great outdoor company and great outdoor shoe. These are both leather shoes. The website says that the Merrell is pigskin leather and the Skechers says that it's a suede. They both have nice outsoles. I will tell you that Merrell tends to run a little bit small for me. If you decide to get the Merrell, I'd probably go up a half size beyond what you normally do. Neither one of these shoes is waterproof, but Merrell makes a waterproof version. So these two shoes, they are probably about $40 apart, with the Skechers being the less expensive shoe. On Merrell's website, I think this shoe is around $85, and I've seen it for more than that in stores and less than that on Amazon. So keep that in mind. The Merrell is a little more of a premium product. It doesn't appear that there's memory foam in here, but there is a removable insole, if that is something that interests you. Merrell also claims to have a cushioned outsole here, an air cushioned sole. Merrell is very well known for having well-wearing shoes, where their where their outsoles last longer than other companies. So, and I would say I would agree with that Merrell makes a quality, long-lasting shoe. In fact, here's an old Merrell of mine. You know, it's got some fair use in it on trails and whatnot, and the sole on it is still not worn out. It's getting worn out down here, but it's a high-quality, lasting product. That's what you get with Merrell. I would say Skechers' focus is on comfort, not so much long-lasting wear. That's been my experience. If you watch the other video, people buy Skechers for comfort. They just may not last as long as other shoes, so you have to make that decision for yourself. This is a very comfortable shoe. This is one of the most comfortable, lightweight hiking shoes that I have worn. So the Skechers does not have a removable insole. So I think the issue though is that the Skechers insole is flatter. So if you have a flatter foot, you might find this shoe more comfortable. And that was actually what was the problem for me with this shoe. The arch on this, there's really a lot of support for that curved part of your foot. For me, it's almost too much. And so I prefer the fit of the Skechers, even though I would probably bet the Merrell is a more quality shoe. Weight-wise, very close in weight. The Merrell is only an ounce lighter, so they're both pretty lightweight for the trail, and that's something I look for because I don't like big, super heavy hikers. I just think it detracts from the trail experience. Both of these shoes are very breathable, and this is important. It's also kind of surprising in a leather shoe. Companies have figured out ways to allow vapor and moisture from your foot, sweating and perspiring, to escape the shoe so that your socks don't get wet and start feeling clammy. And both of these shoes are excellent. I've worn these for a few days and walked around in them, and I was pleasantly surprised when I took them off where my socks were not wet. They were just damp, to what you would expect for wearing shoes. And I can't say that's the case for all hikers I've worn, because sometimes your feet sweat, and maybe that's okay for some of you or in the summertime, but in the winter, if your socks are wet, your feet are going to be cold and your toes are going to be cold, and I've struggled with this. So I do appreciate that both of these shoes breathe. So let's do a little walking testing. The first thing I notice with the Merrell, it slips on easily and probably a little easier than the Skechers. But walking, you definitely feel the ground. You feel kind of a hard, firm walk with the heel impact. There's very little, if any, cushion at all. I guess worth mentioning because Merrell claims that there is an air cushion in the heel, but I can't feel it at all. I really feel a very firm impact and firm walk with the heel. Now the advantage of that is if you want to feel the trail, you're going to feel it, but the Skechers definitely has more of a cushioned attack or a cushioned impact with the heel. This is something they are known for with their sneakers and tennis shoes, and I happen to like it. So let's look at width. The Merrell is definitely a narrower shoe. I'm about a 9.5 or 10, and I am definitely a narrow foot. I'm at home in a shoe like the Merrell. Width-wise, it feels like it was made for me, and I do like that. The Skechers is, I consider, probably more just a standard width, but it is a relaxed shoe. They call it a relaxed fit, but I would say it's not too relaxed. It's just a good fit. One thing about the Skechers, it does bind a little more up at the top by the ankle. The Merrell, on the other hand, is a little more comfortable at the top, but what bothers me more with the Merrell is the upward pressure in the bottom of my foot, right there in the arch. There's just more support than I would like in the Merrell. For me, it's just not quite as comfortable standing or walking as it is in the Skechers. So it's time to try these two side by side, and when you do, you really get a good picture. For me, it was the shock absorbing heel that really sold me on the Skechers. I like a cushioned feel, and it's not overly cushioned, it's just comfortable. If you are someone that really wants to feel every bump and nuance of the trail without the cushion, then the Merrell is going to deliver that for you. But by far, these are two really nice choices in the lightweight hiker category, and I've tried many brands, and I really like these two. So finally, I really wanted to test these out on the trail and get some feedback from the outdoors. Unfortunately, I was able to have a little time off the end of the year, and I took my family to Sedona, Arizona, which is a hiker's paradise. So what a perfect opportunity to get some trail time. And I did have to set the Merrells aside because of the arch discomfort that I was having. I didn't feel like it was a good idea for me to be miles out on the trail and not be in a most comfortable shoe situation. So I know I'm going to use the Merrells again. I don't consider this a flaw in the Merrell at all because it's a comfortable shoe for lots of people. I just think for me, I need a flatter insole, an insert or something to offset that high arch. And so for this, I really am going to focus on the Skechers and how they felt outdoors. And I will tell you that they did not disappoint. Everything from driving in the car, walking on the trail, on hills, on some rocky terrain, up and down inclines, the Skechers were comfortable all the way. They do feel like a hiking boot. They're definitely much heavier than a tennis shoe, but they're much lighter than that traditional 2-pound hiker, which I don't really prefer. The soles were plenty grippy, and I didn't have slip issues. Even a little bit of snow, I felt they were fine. Temperatures were probably, I would say, upper 20s into mid 40s, and I was never cold, and my feet were never sweaty or hot. I know I said earlier that these aren't waterproof, but I did step into a fairly deep kind of mud hole puddle where the water came up over the rubber bottom sole onto the leather, and I pulled my foot out quick, but the shoe did get wet, but my sock didn't get wet. I didn't feel any water come in. So in that situation, they acted like they were waterproof and just super comfortable the whole time. I forgot I was wearing them, which is a good sign. I doubt that they have the long-lasting stay power of the Merrell, but really a comfortable shoe, and I really enjoyed the experience. So that is pretty much it. Both good companies and a quality product. You can't beat Merrell's long-lasting nature and the name, and I think with Skechers you just can't beat them for comfort. Anyway, we'll leave it there, and if I helped you out at all, please consider liking and subscribing. It does help the channel. Drop any comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.